Now we will see the Broadband's mapping in this temporal lobe area and occipital lobe area. First we will see this primary auditory area whose Broadband's number is 41 and 42. So this is present here in the deep region. So it is present here in the deep, and this is known as, the deep part is known as anterior, anterior transverse gyrus. Clear? And this is also known as Hassechel's gyrus. This is often asked in the MCQ, in your NEET PG, as well as during the Viva also. Clear? So this is important region. Now I will tell you where it is exactly. So first see, this is area number 41. This is an area number 41 and 42. Clear? Area number 41 and 42. So this anterior transverse gyrus, to see this anterior transverse gyrus, you have to reflect this region. So you have to reflect the upper lip and the lower lip of this lateral sulcus. So when you will reflect this upper lip and lower lip of lateral sulcus, in the deeper part you will see this anterior transverse gyrus. So this area number 41, so it is, when you reflect this, you will see it is like this, the region. This is known as anterior transverse gyrus. So area number 41 and 42 present in this, and also it involved a few part here on the superior temporal gyrus. Only few part, small region here in this superior temporal gyrus. So it involve anterior transverse gyrus plus very small part of this superior surface. This is the superior surface of superior temporal gyrus. This superior temporal gyrus. Clear? Next area is sensory auditory area. This sensory auditory area is also known as auditory association area. It has a Broadband's number 22. So this area is present on this lateral surface of this superior temporal gyrus, just posterior to this area number 41 and 42 here. Clear? It is here. So this is area number 22. This is area number 22. Next area is primary visual area, area number 17. This is present in the occipital lobe and it is present here. So this is the lunate sulcus. Clear? So in the lunate, just posterior to this lunate sulcus, here we see area number 17. And already you are aware about this region, that this region is known as occipital pole. So here is an area number 17. Now anterior to this lunate sulcus and between this parieto-occipital sulcus, here we see the secondary visual area, or also known as visual association area number 18. Here we see area number 18. This is area number 18. Anterior to this secondary visual area, Broadband's area number 18, this region is for the Broadband's area number 19. This is for the Broadband's area number 19. Clear? Now in other areas here, so this Brodmann's area 43, which is for gustatory area for the taste, and this you will see when you will reflect this upper lip. So here the upper lip, so you know this is the sensory area, this is the primary sensory area, post central gyrus. So when you will reflect this part upward, that is the when you will reflect the upper lip of lateral sulcus, you will see the insula. Clear? You will see the insula. So it is associated with the related with the insula. Here when you will reflect this lip in the deeper part, you will see here on the let me color on the superior surface here, on the superior surface of this superior temporal gyrus. Clear? You will see the area of taste, and this is known as Brodmann's number 43. So here Brodmann's number 43. Next area is the vestibular area. So this vestibular area is present here, much deeper part of the sensory area of the face here. So this is the vestibular area. Clear? So I am writing in a short V, vestibular area. The next area is the olfactory area, Brodmann's area number 28. This we will see in the next slide. Brodmann's area number 28. So this A28 is present here. So this is the parahippocampal gyrus. So anterior part of this parahippocampal gyrus, here we see this olfactory area, Brodmann's area number 28, on the inferior medial surface of the hemisphere. Clear? So this is primary olfactory area. Here we can see all the Brodmann's area in this superior lateral view. This is a superior lateral view and this is inferior medial view. So we can see all the Brodmann's area which we have talked, but we have talked only the most important one. Clear? Noted clearly, we have talked regarding the most important one. You can say, or you can say that we have talked about the important one, but many other Brodmann's areas you can see in this image. Clear? Like example, Brodmann's area 52. Clear? Brodmann's area 36, 35. So many other Brodmann's areas also you can see in this image. But till now what we have talked, and that is important for you for your examination. Clear? Now let's see the topic ahead. Now we will talk about the each Brodmann's area separately with the effect of the lesion. So first area is the Brodmann's area number 4. So this area is primary motor area. Clear? So this is here Brodmann's number 4 in this precentral gyrus. So this Brodmann's area number 4, the function is it has an voluntary motor activity. Clear? It has an voluntary motor activity and it controls the opposite side of the body. Clear? But it has a bilateral nerve innervation, but the bilateral nerve innervation on the upper face, tongue, this larynx, pharynx and mandible. So except this, motor activity of the other side of the body is controlled by this primary motor area. Clear? And the effect of, that is the effect of the lesion, on the opposite side of the body causes the hemiplegia. Clear? This causes the hemiplegia, or this causes the flaccid paralysis. Clear? Hemiplegia. It is often asked in the Viva and MCQ. So this region, this area number 4, it controls the opposite side, and this, the opposite side of the body, what it control and how much the bulk is control of the other side of the body by this area, that we can understand by homunculus. Okay, and what is the homunculus? I will show you in the next slide. This is a homunculus. So in the homunculus is the complete representation of the human body in a small frame. So here we can see this region is the superior lateral surface of the area number 4, and this one is the medial, this is the medial surface of the area number 4. So here the human body is represented, how much part of the body is controlled by how much area. So this representing the area. Clear? Example, say hand up to the thumb. Okay, so this much area is controlled by this region of the area number 4, and say this neck to tongue, this region is controlled by this part of the area number 4. Now let me clear you here that the skill, see, so understand carefully what does it mean. So it representing here, what has been represented, it has been represented the skill of movement. It is represented the skill of movement. Clear? Skill of movement, and not the size of the muscle. This is very important to understand. Clear? It means the area which has the area, say example, this region of the hand and the thumb, this region of the hand, say hand and thumb, it is more skilled, it requires more movement, so it occupying more area. Clear? So here, say this region in the area number 4 on its medial aspect, this region, say lower limb, so here is the limb, and this part, it has less movement, it has less skilled area. So this is less skilled area, so occupying less area compared to the other. Clear? So it is representing the skill of movement, not the size of the muscle, because in the Viva and even in the MCQs, it is asked to check your knowledge, your understanding, your concept, what you understand by this. Clear? So larger the area maximum the skill, then skill will be maximum. So area is directly proportional to skill. Clear?